Hello and welcome to Yoga Basics. I'm Patty, I'll be your instructor today. We're going to work a little bit harder today, so we're going to start with a different kind of breath than usual. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat, whether in a chair or on something on the floor. You can sit straight to the floor if you're more comfortable that way. You can see I'm sitting on some blankets. Once you've found your comfortable seat, let's find your breath. You'll find it first outside of your nose, and then you'll feel it in your throat, and then you might kind of lose it a little bit, but do your best to follow the natural rhythm and flow of your breath as it presents itself in this moment. Once you've tuned into your breath, we're going to do a structural breath today to keep the low back safe. So pull your low belly in as you press your hips down. Go ahead and lengthen through the crown of your head so that you can get some length through your spine, but keep that low belly pulled in. And when you inhale into your rib cage. So the low belly stays in, and you allow your rib cage to expand on the inhale, and then allow your rib cage to contract on the exhale. The low belly actually draws in even more for the exhale. You can even think of the exhale like you're zipping up a little jacket. So keeping the low belly secure, allowing the in-breath to fill the rib cage. It's kind of an ellipsoid shape as you feel the side ribs expand and the sternum and the shoulder blades move. Allowing that same shape to contract down and allowing the low belly to draw in and up, again, like you're zipping up a little jacket. Let's do that one more time. The low belly is secure. The inhale goes into the rib cage. The exhale comes from there, low belly drawing in and up even more. Excellent. Now I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart in the prayer position called the Anjali Mudra in Sanskrit, allowing your palms, thumbs, and fingers to gently press together and allowing your shoulder heads to gently pull apart. You'll feel your heart lift and open, and as you feel this lifting and opening, take a moment and set an intention for yourself. Claim for yourself what it is that you want, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Take just another moment with this intention. And so it is. Blinking your eyes open if they were closed, take a big inhale. And then sigh out the exhale. Bringing the hands down. Bring your legs out, rock, release any tension that you might have built up. Go ahead and roll out your ankles, making big circles in one direction and then in the other direction. And now let's spread your toes. And if the toes are having trouble spreading, bend your knees, take your fingers and start with your pinky fingers and lace your pinky finger in between the pinky toe and the next one, and then the ring finger goes in, and then the middle finger and the first finger until you're shaking hands with your feet. And then literally do that, giving a little motion to those toes. I promise you're not breaking your toes. It's good for you. Once you've gotten a little extra motion into your toes, release the hands from your feet and then try to spread your toes and see if you get a little more space. Spread your fingers, reaching through the palms and the soles of your feet. Inhale big. And then as you exhale, squeeze your fingers, squeeze your toes, squeeze your arms, your legs, all the muscles to the bones, and then release the squeeze. Spread the toes, fingers, arms. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze the muscles to the bones. Release the squeeze, spread toes, fingers. Inhale. And exhale, squeeze. Excellent. And then shake it out. So Jesse's with us again today, and we're going to start on hands and knees. So coming on to hands and knees, you're going to allow your fingers to spread wide, spreading wider than they normally go, so that you'll have a more comfortable range of motion within your normal range of motion. Your shoulders are going to stack right over the wrists. Now, when we used to do this pose called cat-cow, the cow position kind of dropped the spine, and it put too much compression into the posterior spine. So let's do a flat back, look up, spread your shoulders away from each other, reach your chin forward, stretching the platysma muscle that covers the front of the thyroid, and inhale here. Then as you exhale, arch your back, pull your belly to your spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Now let's stay in this cat position for just a moment, breathing here. You'll feel the belly is drawn in. There is now length in the posterior spine. You can feel your shoulder blades stretching apart. Allow your breath to really move this part of the body. And as you inhale in this cat position, feel the stretching of the shoulders. Let your arms stay straight. As you exhale, see if you can't arch your back just a little bit more. So we're squeezing down the front of the spine, opening up the back. So that when you're ready for your next inhale, move into a flat back. Inhaling the chin up and the shoulders away from each other. Now stay here for just a moment. We call this particular position flat back, shoulders wide, chin up. It's sort of a long, unwieldy name, but this keeps you from compressing the posterior spine. So just breathe here and try to lengthen the spine, reaching your head away from your hips. Taking another full in-breath here in the flat back, wide-shouldered pose, and then exhale your way back up into that arch. Tucking the chin, pulling the belly, staying here. This pose we call cat, simple, easy name. And when your hips are in this position with the low belly in and length to the low back, we call this cat tilt of the pelvis. Now from cat tilt of the pelvis, we're going to go back to flat back. And we're going to call that just a little bit of dog tilt to the pelvis. So we're working hard today, and we're going to be looking for that dog tilt of the pelvis. So let's memorize it again. Inhale here in the flat back with a little dog tilt to the pelvis. And as you exhale, go up into cat, and we call this cat tilt of the pelvis. Move your way into flat back, dog tilting the pelvis. And then move your way into cat back, cat tilting the pelvis. Once more, move into a flat back. Remember, this is the dog tilt to the pelvis. And then arch on that exhale, going into cat tilt to the pelvis. Excellent. So coming back to a flat back, we're going to move into the down dog, and we're going to play around with the down dog. Now this is hard work. Your muscles are going to be shaking, your bones are going to be shaking, and if you need to come out of the posture before I bring you out, please do. You can rest back in a child's pose. So Jessie, if you'll demonstrate child's pose. At any time that you've decided you've worked hard enough for the moment, just find this position and take a rest. Find any position and take a rest. So bringing yourself back up into all fours, flat back, shoulders away, look up, inhale here. Once more, arch like a cat, cat tilting the pelvis, good. Now tuck your toes, and with your toes tucked and your knees hip width apart, we're gonna lift up and back into the down dog. Inhale here. Exhale, pull your belly to your spine and lift your hips up and back, holding the down dog. So with the down dog, you want your triceps to roll in. So the triceps are underneath the arm. You're trying to bring that soft part of the elbow to face each other. Your forearms are going to be looking for the mat. So you're trying to reach your hips back until your forearms come closer to the mat. Letting your head hang through your shoulders. Eventually, maybe one day, you'll get so limber that the forehead and the forearms actually touch the floor. Please feel free to keep your knees as bent as you want them. This is called the down dog, and those of you that have pets know that your pet will get up from a nap or greet you at the door in this pose, and their legs are always bent when they do it, because we're not so worried about the legs at this point. We're worried about extending the spine. Now from your down dog, we're going to play around with the legs. So I'd like you to pick up your left leg and let your left toes point to the floor. Now when I asked Jesse if he knew what a three-legged dog was, he thought it was a joke. But it's not a joke. It's just a fun posture to do within the down dog. That hip is an internal rotation. That aerial heel is reaching away from your head. Now let's take this hip and externally roll it so the foot turns sideways. From here, lift the leg even higher. Bend your knee and drop that aerial heel to the opposite buttock. And see if you can't feel your forward hip flexors on that left side. Remember to keep those elbows in just a little bit. Your head hangs soft. When your aerial foot is in the air, if you want to gently press that right leg down just a little more, the right heel down, you'll get an even bigger stretch. Inhale here in your three-legged dog. And then exhale, 4 on the floor. And this becomes a little bit of a rest pose. If you need to take a break in child's pose, please do, or if you need to take a break in any pose. You good? Let's do the other side now. So pick up your right leg, reach that aerial heel straight back. Keep the toes aiming at the floor, internal rotation of that leg, and then externally roll that right leg, lift it higher, feet are sideways, and then drop that heel to the opposite buttock. Now you're looking to feel the forward hip flexors now on this right side. Your arms are straight, you're lifting that knee up and out. Find an inhale, and exhale your way back to 4 on the floor, back to your down dog. Good. So from here, let's arch like a cat again. Really arch your back. Pull your belly and tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, stretch, and as you exhale, bring yourself to flat back or dog till to the hips. It's really subtle once you get up into this position. So again, let's go into that arch like a cat. It's little. Pull the belly, tuck the chin, right? So we're in cat tilt to the pelvis. Now inhale your way into a flat back or a dog tilt to the pelvis. Excellent. Inhale. And exhale your way on down. And let's everybody take a quick break in child's pose. Wardrobe adjustment. Coming on to child's pose, and just find your breath for a moment. The down dog is very challenging at first because usually it's the tightness in our shoulders, maybe a little weakness in the arm muscles, tightness in the hips and the legs. The down dog is designed to extend the spine and to release compression in the spine. This is why your dogs and cats really don't need to see a chiropractor, because they're able to get the spine length all by themselves. So you become your own little yogi chiropractor when you learn the down dog. One more time in the down dog. Let's inhale to a flat back. Tuck your toes. Exhale here. Take another in-breath. Wardrobe adjustment. Find another inhale. And as you exhale, pull your belly into the spine and lift your hips up and back and come into one more down dog. And just breathe. Roll the elbows in. You're trying to take that low belly, especially on the exhale, and draw that low belly into your spine and reach your hips away from your head. And if you've got a friend that can help out, if someone stands on your hands to give you more downward pressure and then gives you a gentle pull with your hips back, then you can get a really nice stretch through your spine. Just a little assisted yoga here. All right. Inhale. I'm coming off. Exhale, come on down. So when we play around with the down dog, Jesse, come to your back, please, with your head here. Sometimes the pelvis can shift in ways that it doesn't necessarily need to stay shifted for the rest of the day. So let's start with a happy baby, bringing your knees into your belly, bringing the soles of the feet to the ceiling, grabbing hold of the outer edge of your feet and drawing your knees from a 90-degree angle of the legs kind of down towards the mat. Let your head and shoulders reach back to the mat, and if your tailbone can reach to the mat, reach your tailbone to the mat. If your tailbone is up high, it's going to feel kind of like you're a turtle on your back, so you might want to hold steady. The more that tailbone can reach down to the floor, the more you're able to rock side to side, gently rocking across the kidney adrenal area on either side of your mid-back. Now we're going to twist it out to reset the spine. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bring your feet down to the mat. Press into your feet and lift your hips. While your hips are in the air, shift them to the right. Lower your hips down so that your hips are offset to the right. Straighten your left leg. Bring your right knee into your belly. Pull that right knee and point the left toes, taking an asymmetrical stretch across your pelvic floor. Inhale into the stretch, and then exhale that knee across your body, bringing the knee all the way over to the left, letting that right shoulder pop up. Then reach that right arm straight over your head. Feel your side ribs. Inhale here, and as you exhale, open that arm to a T, palm up, and turn your head and look down that floating arm. Now, if you feel like your chin is way up in the air, you're welcome to have a blanket for your head. You knew what was coming. As your inner shoulders release, you'll be able to get that head back down to the floor, and you'll find that the knee and the shoulder both rest a little more comfortably towards the floor. It just takes time. And I don't know, in about 7 or 8 years, you might have this pose all the way done. Some of you might be very, very flexible. And if that full right arm and knee are both on the floor on opposite sides of your body, you want to work on strength building poses because you already have enough natural flexibility. Inhale here, and as you exhale, draw your knee into your belly and roll to your back. Feet on the mat and square your hips. Now press into your feet, lift your hips. While they're in the air, shift them to the left and lower so your hips are offset to the left. Right leg straight. Draw your left knee in. We're going to stretch across the other angle of the pelvic floor being a couple figure 8 shaped meshes of muscle, pulling the left knee and pointing the right toes, finding the other angle of the stretch. Inhale here, and exhale that knee across your body, putting the knee all the way to the floor on the right, letting that left shoulder pop up, and then stretch that left arm over your head, feel those left ribs, and then open that arm to a T, palm up, and turn your head and attempt to look down that levitating left arm. Again, if you've got the knee and this full arm on the floor already, you're very flexible. So you do want to work on strength building, and the down dog is an excellent pose to do strength building with. The plank is another good one. If you're up here like Jessie and you're pretty tight, I just recommend more reclining twists, because eventually the weight of these arm bones is going to help make that nice length around the torso. And the practice of the down dog can help open your shoulders so that you can get even more room in the upper back. All right, inhale. And as you exhale, draw your knee into your belly and roll to your back. Feet on the mat and square your hips. So now we've come to the upside down portion of this morning's session. So if you've got your head on something, take it off so that you don't compress at the throat, and then find something to put under your hips. Now I'll be Jessie's assistant now, so I can put some blankets under his hips. You might have to take a moment right now and grab something. Once you've found something to lift your hips up, let's see, let me use these. You want to put that something underneath, lift higher, underneath your sacrum. Now your sacrum is low on your waist but high on the buttocks. So once you've found something underneath your sacrum, bring your knees into your belly. If this is comfortable on your low back, you can let your legs go straight up. If it's not comfortable, put your feet back on the mat, and sometimes adjusting the support closer to your head can make it a little more comfortable. Once you've gone upside down, you're there. So just rest in this particular position. Our anatomical center of gravity is right down here. It's right at the top of the hip points. So this is the anatomical center of gravity. Everything from center of gravity up is a rising energy, except your shoulder blades, they go down, unless you're using them. Everything from your center of gravity down is a downward energy. Now we have a fluid in our body called lymph fluid. This lymph fluid cleanses the blood. Now your blood is pumped by your heart, but the lymph fluid is not. The lymph fluid is pumped by you, so it moves when you move. So everything below your anatomical center of gravity has lymph fluid moving through it, but your lymph nodes are in your torso for the most part. There's some behind the knees. So you've got to get all that lymph fluid from the lower half of the body into the upper half of the body. And you do that by going upside down. Putting your feet above your head is an excellent way to move this lymph fluid. I sometimes think that kids are so resilient and ready to meet whatever comes because they're always flipping their little bodies around in space. We tend to get a little more stationary as we get older, so we have to find ways to flip ourselves around. Gently and slowly since we're older. With your feet up in the air, if you'd like, you can take an opportunity to roll through your ankles, finding your maximum range of motion through your ankles. You can take an opportunity to spread and then to clench your toes again and see if you've got a different action than when we first started session. Also taking an opportunity to squeeze the muscles to the bones of the leg and then to release, and to squeeze the muscles of the legs and then to release. Your calf muscles are very important to your circulatory system. In fact, in Chinese medicine, your calf muscles are called your second heart because that's how big a player they are with the movement of the blood. So you've got the movement of the lymph fluid, you've got the strengthening of the muscles of the legs with the squeezing and the releasing. You've also got to rest on the valves. The valves are in the veins, and this helps the blood work its way back up to the heart when we're upright. When we go upside down, these valves get to rest, and normally they're being pushed on, but now they're gently getting pulled on. And this can prevent varicose veins from happening. You don't want varicose veins. They can get stagnant energy in that blood. So you want to keep the blood moving, keep the veins healthy, keep the valves healthy by putting your feet above your head. Let your belly soften. We've also lifted the hips, so we've got the hips above the heart, so you're releasing compression through the digestive tract. You can let the belly soften, but tuck your shoulders behind you and maybe let your heart lift a little, taking a nice good stretch through the inside of the body. A passive stretch, changing the aspect of gravity on the inside of the body for just a moment. Finding your way into a moment of stillness while upside down. Going upside down is so important to your yoga practice that we've created lots of interesting ways to go upside down. This is just one of the safest and easiest. All right, so inhale here. And as you exhale, bring your feet down to the mat. Press into your feet and lift your hips. And while your hips are in the air, remove whatever you were supported on and bring your hips back down. Great. So now we're going to come into Shavasana, the most important pose in all of yoga. We'll do some squeezes first. So bring your knees into your belly, wrap your arms around your legs. Your feet are side by side. Inhale here. And exhale, squeeze yourself into a tiny little ball. Then loosen the squeeze, inhale. Exhale, squeeze, pull the belly, tuck the chin. Loosen the squeeze, inhale. Exhale, squeeze, make yourself as teeny tiny as you can. It's a final internal massage. And then release and let your legs go long down the mat. If your low back is uncomfortable when you go flat to the floor, find some supports and put them underneath your knees. And this will tip your low back so that it can rest more easily on the floor. If you're comfortable with your legs flat, a flat Shavasana is just fine. Once you have found your chosen position, let your toes splay open. Allow your shoulder blades to flatten against the floor, whatever you have to do to get them to flatten. Let your palms face up. Your hands are about a foot and a half away from your hips, and then tuck your chin so that you get long in the neck. And then melt into the shape of this posture. So for your Shavasana, you're to be as still as you can be without actually holding yourself still. It's in the stillness that your body will integrate and internalize the different lessons and benefits and gifts of your practice. In the stillness, you're going to observe. Observe your breath as it moves naturally through your body. Observe your body as you continue to let go of any gripping, and observe your mind. Notice what thoughts churn up trying to get your attention, and you just let them go. Just say shh to yourself, coming into observation rather than conversation. Allowing your mind to roam with awe and fascination through the various vibrations of you. Practicing for the next moment or so, extreme relaxation. Go ahead and begin to deepen your breathing. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. You can make circles if you'd like. And then reach your arms up long above your head and stretch your fingers away from your feet. Make space, especially through your belly. Inhale. And on the exhale, draw your knees into your belly. Arms come down, roll to your right, and make a pillow for your head. Pause here while your body transitions and take this moment and thank yourself for your practice, enabling the gifts and the benefits to continue to penetrate to every level, including the deepest level. Inhale. And on the exhale, use mostly the strength of your left arm to gently press yourself up, coming up into any comfortable seated position that you'd like. You can sit on blankets, your legs can be straight, you can sit in a chair, whatever you want to do. Just bring your hands back to your heart. Lift your heart, open your shoulders, bow your head, and take this moment to honor the truth, the light, and the wisdom existing within every cell of your body. May you be peaceful. May you experience poise, equanimity, and abundance. May you be well. Namaste.